Have you or a loved one been recommended to have a prostate biopsy, but you're not sure if you really need a biopsy or really what the indication for having a biopsy is? If this is you, then the following video may provide some insights for you. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Dr. Charles Chabert. I'm a urologist and director of the prostate clinic located on the Gold Coast here in Australia. Before we get started with this video, if I could please subscribe to the channel if you do get benefit from the video. Our latest data highlights for us that around 90% of our viewers, our regular viewers, actually do not subscribe to the channel. So if this does refer to you, please, if you would consider subscribing, it would be much appreciated. If you already do subscribe, I appreciate it. And please shout out and let us know if there's any content that you would like to see more of. Okay, so if we take a step back, what is a prostate biopsy? Well, in essence, a prostate biopsy is a procedure that is performed with a view to obtain a tissue sample of the prostate to try and determine if someone does have prostate cancer. At the time of recording this video, which is September of 2025, the only way to concretely establish a diagnosis of prostate cancer is with a tissue sample or with a biopsy. Now, to give you some background, the way that we perform a biopsy varies significantly geographically, and it has evolved significantly across time, particularly over the last 2 decades. Originally, if men had an elevated PSA or a PSA that was moving too quickly, i.e. the kinetic pathway was abnormal, or alternatively, if they had an abnormal examination of the prostate, any one of those characteristics or combination thereof would be used as an indication for a man to have a biopsy. Historically, certainly in Australia, the way that biopsy was performed was in a transrectal fashion. It was done under local anesthetic. An ultrasound probe was placed into the bowel, and that would guide a needle into the prostate. That man would have no imaging prior to the biopsy, and so we were none the wiser whether or not there was a particular spot inside the prostate, and if there was, whereabouts it was located. In around 2012, we had the advent of 3T multiparametric MRI, which allowed us to image the prostate for the first time with great accuracy and try and determine if there was a particular index lesion or a target of suspicion within the prostate, and therefore we could then target that area with a biopsy more accurately. At about the same time, we shifted from transrectal biopsies to transperineal biopsies, which is where we place the needle through the skin rather than through the bowel. This has the big advantage of a significant reduction in post-biopsy infections. Moving forward from there, we have the advent of MRI ultrasound fusion, which in essence overlays the two images together. The previously obtained MRI on top of the real-time ultrasound. And the vision there is to further improve the accuracy of the biopsy and reduce the probability of having a false negative biopsy, i.e. no cancer found on the biopsy, but someone still had occult prostate cancer. So in contemporary practice in now 2025, the indications really for proceeding on with a biopsy have evolved significantly. Certainly in my practice at the prostate clinic, the number one indication is if someone has an abnormal MRI scan with a suspicious lesion. If they do not have a lesion of concern, that man can be monitored sequentially with ongoing PSA tests. If the PSA continues to increase despite the normal MRI, the next step is a PSMA PET scan, another specialized test to try and get additional information to determine if there is a lesion within the prostate that could not be seen on the MRI. Now, the probability of that happening is around 10%. So the probability that the MRI scan is normal when someone still has cancer is around 10%. We then do the PET scan. If the PET scan shows a lesion, then we can then perform a targeted biopsy of that lesion. And now there is an ever reducing subset of men who have a continuously increasing PSA, normal MRI, normal PET scan. They have a very low probability of having prostate cancer. But if we cannot answer the question accurately enough with regards why the PSA is going up with normal scans, there is a discussion about that man undergoing a biopsy also. So what can you expect if you have a biopsy? Well, in a nutshell, it depends geographically where you have that biopsy and the way that that is performed. Is it done transrectally? Is it done transperineally? The transperineal biopsies almost always are done under an anesthetic. So here in Australia, they're done in the operating room. It is day surgery, but a man is asleep during the process. If a man has a transrectal biopsy, which still is the standard of care in North America, these tend to be done in the urologist's office under local anesthetic in a transrectal fashion. So in Australia, asleep, transperineal, the biopsy usually takes 20 to 30 minutes to do, and the man can head home afterwards, cannot drive till the next day because of the associated anesthetic. So that's a downside to the transperineal biopsy. Common to see blood in urine, semen, and stool. If you have a transrectal biopsy, most likely it will be done under local anesthetic with no sedation, and so there's no limitations really on activity following that procedure. At the prostate clinic, the results are usually available within 48 hours. Men are given a call and the results are then discussed. In particular, is the biopsy positive or negative, i.e. do we have prostate cancer or not? And if we do, we then have a further discussion about the characteristics of that cancer, in particular talking about the grade, which lets us know is a cancer less or more aggressive. Everyone then requires to be staged with a PSMA PET scan and then an ensuing discussion with regards treatment choices if they are deemed appropriate for that man. As always, if you have comments or if you've been through the process of a biopsy yourself, please leave your experience in the comment section down below so other people may gain some valuable insights from you. If you've got questions, please again leave them in the comment section down below. If you'd like to know more about your prostate, have a look at this video or alternatively this video here. Until the next time, take care of your prostate.